corner of the world. And today I'm just going to do a bit of a quilty video. I haven't done one of those in a while. I am newly retired and finding wonderful things to do. I am not bored. So today I'm just sewing a lot, and I'll show you sort of the different things I've got going on. I'm making a postage stamp curtain to go in my dining room. There's a big window there, and a postage stamp quilt is a quilt made with lots and lots and lots of little squares. You can make them, it's sort of any size you want, but mine are, I believe they're 1.5 inches by the time everything gets sewn. And if you want to see a video about how to make these, it's not hard. And no, you don't cut out 1.5 inch squares and sew them together. There's a sort of it's called strip piecing, and that's how you make these. So it's it does require a lot of sewing. I mean, you have to, you make these strips, and then you sew this strip to this one, and then you sew this one to this one. So it takes a while. It takes some hours, but it's not difficult. Anyone could do it, I promise. But the reason I wanted to do this is when you hold this up against a window, it sort of has a, I don't even know if you can, I don't think you can tell right there, but it's the sun comes through, and this looks almost stained glass-ish. So I can't wait to show it to you when I'm done. That's what I'm doing this morning, a little bit of that. This is very monotonous, so I'll stop and do some other stuff too. I want to also show you what I've got going on in the quilt world. Let me turn this around this way. Okay, there's Tebow. Can you see Tebow? Tebow's sleeping on the floor. Can you see me? Hi there. I've been working on this quilt for a long time, and right now I'm binding it. I've shown it in another video, but I don't want to. Okay, I gotta find where my needle is because I don't want to poke myself. But anyway, here's the quilt. It's really pretty. It's made with Three Sisters fabric, and it's a bit of a bear claw-ish looking quilt. And I'll show you the whole thing when I get done, but just to let you know kind of how you do the binding process. Oh, there's my, found my needle. Here's how you do the binding process. I'll come up here. I sew the binding on like this. I fold the binding, I cut a binding, I piece all the binding pieces together. It's a really, really long thing. And then I fold it in half, iron it, sew it on here with a machine, and then flip it over like this and hand sew it all the way around. That takes a long time. Again, easy, but a bit monotonous, so you don't do it all at once. That's it's like a full-size bed quilt. And then I've got some cross-stitch stuff going on here. You can look at that in my cross-stitch videos, but I'm making a piece to go in my newly painted living room. And then I also made a very piecemeal binding right here. I'm just going to sew all these pieces together and make a very weird looking binding for this. This is my COVID quilt. I did finish quilting it. This is called a long arm machine. I did finish quilting this, and I made this during COVID. I followed a girl on, oh lordy. Oh, it's such a cute name too. I'll think of it in a minute. But she had a thing during COVID where you sewed a different, each row was a different technique. And so, as you can see, the quilt has all kinds of crazy things going on in it. And this is my beach quilt. I will take it to the beach. I will put it on the beach. I will sit on it on the beach. I mean, that's what a good quilt's for. I made this with repurposed shirts from a thrift store. So everything in here is repurposed except the backing. I bought the backing. I'm not a purple quilt person. These aren't even my colors, but I just wanted to see what I could do with repurposed things. And I didn't have anything to do during COVID, so there you go. So I evened it out, squared it up, that's what that's called. And then I'll sew the binding on this. I am not going to hand stitch the binding on this. So what I'll do is I'll sew the binding onto the back first, then flip it over and sew it onto the front. And sometimes when you sew on a binding, the stitching isn't all that pretty, but I will make sure that it's on the back part if there's any mess ups or if I stray a little, because it's a long way to try and sew straight. And I can mess up every once in a while. So that's what's on the burner. And my next project will probably be curtains for my bedroom. So take it back over here. There's Tebow. Say hi, Tebow. He's asleep. He's a sleepy boy. Oh dear. Let's move you down a little bit. Okay. So literally all I do is sew these together. Pick up a random piece, because you don't want two pieces. You don't want two pieces like this to be together like that. And I did find that because this gets a little monotonous, I have a couple that are the same like that. But I mean, you know, if you're a perfectionist and I'm not, then it'll bother you, but it won't bother me. So just thought I'd let you in on what I'm doing today.